Welcome to the coffee talk with salty Vixens, where diving to be the boss, no topics to air.
Welcome to Salty Vixen's Coffee Talk, a place where I talk about what is on a Salty Vixen's mind. I'm an author, I'm a musician, and a mother, and I am the founder of Salty Vixen brand. Today's episode is titled Prince Harry and the Sentebale Saga drama. I think that's a very good title because the media is blowing all this up, all because of the current chairwoman is angry and decided, hey, I'm going to make it to regular media and tell my side of the story because I'm angry due to the fact Prince Harry sent an angry email to me. And I'm sure there's other things that's going on. But as you know, Prince Harry has resigned from Sentebale. They co-founded in memory of his mother, Princess Diana. He, along with several trustees, stepped down last week saying their relationship with the chair of the board broke down beyond repair. And of course, now you know the chair has been speaking up about that. And I'll be frank with you all. I agree with Harry and the others stepping down. Now, those tuning in, my name is Rachel. I go by the pen name Salty Vixen. And yes, I donated money from 2013 to 2016, the sum of $40,000 US. Yes, my own money. I work for that. It wasn't my own business. It was from my trust fund. The question that people have been asking me, and trust me, my social media has blown up since I came forward. Yeah, I used to donate. I've been to the opening of the Mama Monastery. I knew Prince Harry from 2004 until 2016. I have my stories about him, the good and his wrath. But what people did not realize that Harry is not an asshole. Does he have asshole moments? Yeah. We all do. One thing I could tell you about Prince Harry and other people who know him can confirm, yes, he does let go of his wrath when he is either frustrated or overtired. Now, everybody does that at some point. I mean, I've done it. You listening to me probably has done that. The only difference is Prince Harry's in the media, and that's why all of this is a big deal. Now, people listening are asking, how in the world did I get involved with Sentebale? What's my story? Well, I could tell you when I emailed the office in about 2013, they also asked for my story because generally people donate money. It usually comes from the businesses. And like I said earlier, it came from my trust fund. I'm a nobody. I don't claim to be famous. I don't want to be famous. Yes, I am an author. Yes, I write erotica/romance stories. Yes, I have audio erotica series called Bedtime Stories with Salty Vixen. And I started that series a few years ago from a breakup with a blast from the past guy that I spoke about in my previous podcast at some point. But that's another story for another time. But the pen name was invented on 18 June 2004 when I was sexually assaulted at a polo club in England at 10:45 p.m. on the grandstands. And he is known to the inner circle. I will say on that. I will never, ever reveal his name out of respect for me. Because one, it was a long time ago. And two, it's my story to share, right? And I remember saying no that night. And I could tell you all out there, the thing with polo, and this is all tied together with my involvement in Sentebale. It's a very bad stereotype that women show up to polo to go flirt with the royal brothers. And I can confirm to you that 3 people in the inner circle, William and Harry's friends, have told me back then that because of that stereotype, that's how they get to have sex with a lot of women. They say, oh, we're friends with William and Harry. Oh, you can meet him, but the only way to meet him is you have to have sex with us. In fact, 2 of them in the inner circle, one's a polo player, the other called the villain, who drove me back to my hotel in Sentebale, England. That's not far from the polo club. The night I met them, May 2004, when I showed up to polo one day. And I was really there for a match. I was going to leave, and it wasn't a high goal match, if I remember. I think they were just playing around, and it was a bit dreary that day. The Argentinians came in. It was such a big deal that summer 2004 for the Argentinians to be part of polo in England. And so, yeah, I knew Adolfo Cambioso. I knew them all. I had dinner at the estate at the polo club. The woman who no longer is with us, she passed away several years ago, Mrs. Tomlinson, may she rest in peace, and made a pasta for everybody. And yeah, it was a lovely experience, lovely time. And she was like a second mother. Of course, anyone who knew Mrs. Tomlinson will say to you, she's like a mom to everybody. Just a wonderful woman. And I learned a lot from her, and I have the deepest respect for her and the family. So anything I talk about is definitely in the past when I refer to the pole player and friends, because obviously we've all grown up and gotten older. Now, before I go back into my whole rant about how I got involved with Sentebale, like I said, all this is tied. Y'all know Prince Harry had a book called The Spare that came out that had a ghostwriter. We all know that. And I did not like the way he spoke about two of the people who I knew very well, and in the book, and one of them had given me my first kiss. I'll tell you the name, James. Yes, James Williams Bestie, an amazing kisser. Oh my gosh, that was the first French kiss I ever got. It was 3 times. Oh, amazing. Okay, so I just want to point that out. Harry, as you know, he tends to listen to gossip instead of going to the person that it's about. So the chairwoman who hypothetically or allegedly got a scathing email from him being grumpy to her, more likely it was a lot of people were talking to him and he just didn't process it correctly. That's my guess from what I know about Harry. And it's known amongst people who know him that's how he is. So the chairwoman should have understood Harry's personality a lot more instead of making an assumption that he's like everyone else. Like I have a friend recently got mad at me in a slight comparison because I did not respond to something he had texted me, and I said, I am so sorry, I'm busy, I have a lot going on, I will get back to you when I'm able to, which is true. And then he kept saying, well, I feel like it's a one-sided thing, just ripping at me. I said, I sometimes have trouble processing things. I have an IQ 161, and I'm a deep thinker. But sometimes when someone says something to me, I may not understand it right away, but hours later or days later, I'm like, oh, wait, now I get it. That's how Harry is, from what I know. And that lady really should have understood how Harry's personality is. But she didn't. She had anger in her. She was more, let's see, what's a better word? Celebrity hungry. And I know people like that. People like that are self-full in themselves. I'm allegedly saying about her, but seeing how she is on the media, in the newsreels, that she just did not listen. She was just an angry woman. And that's not how you should be in an office setting, especially with a wonderful place that a charity called Sentebale is. Now, I did speak candidly about things about Lesotho, the opening of the Mamahalo Center. At the time, yes, a lot of us that were there did feel things could have been done in a better way. But they also were time crunched, and it was hard to get a hold of Harry with a lot of this because he's always busy with the house at the time, being a senior member of the royal family, right? And I think Ed Lane Fox was his private secretary. Now, I met Ed in Lesotho. Wonderful guy. We used to email back and forth. I remember emailing Ed Lane Fox, who is Prince Harry's former private secretary, back and forth about if I should continue with donating to Sentebale because a lot was going on personally. I was so happy with the charity. I love the charity. I love what it represented. I wanted to be included more. But financially, things were changing because now I've got kids and I was on the verge of a divorce. And I was hoping to have more involvement where I did not have to donate money. I know it's silly to say that, but, that's something I kind of wish could happen because I think Ed was on the board. It's been a long time. And he said, unfortunately, right now there was nothing. So it is what it is. And, but yeah, I pulled out because of Harry's behavior in Lesotho to me. I mean, he yelled at me, but granted, he had a long flight. Lesotho to Joburg London to Joburg to Lesotho. It's a long flight. And I think he had stuff the day before. Like, he only rested on the airplane. And when he came into Lesotho, he immediately went to the Mamahalo Center, toured it. Went back to relax a little bit, came back for more interviews, had dinner. I mean, he was just tired. Like, he was overwhelmed. And I think, like, if he had more of a break, I don't think I would have received his wrath when accidentally breaking his wine glass. Harry was at fault at that. But again, he did apologize. So Harry is not a bully, is what I want to say. He has grumpy moments like all of us do. So the chairwoman really should not have made this a whole thing because now she has screwed up things in that charity. Gave charity a bad light when that charity's done nothing but good. And I still will promote Sentebale. I always will. Because it was like another home for me. It helped me gain confidence. It helped me understand that abuse in a marriage is not okay. That charity has been a lifesaver for me, in my own opinion. I never joined the charity because of Prince Harry's status. So remember I said earlier, all this is tied in, the polo and Harry. I joined because Prince Harry had defended me at Cartier International Polo China White After Party on 25 July 2004. That picture I posted on Twitter of him hugging me. Sorry, of him dancing with me. He was actually hugging me. Because the person that you kind of see in the background, I call him the villain, said some pretty negative things about me. And one of the big thing he brought up was a person who had sexually assaulted me 18 June 2004. He did not realize the guy sexually assaulted me. What he knew was, the Yank came to polo and she fancied the polo player, but she chose to go and shag one of us, the people in the group. Oh, yes, she definitely came for royalty. And I know that because also I want to point out what the villain, his issue was. I went to his house party in May, and it was, I'll never forget, it was a house party in honor of Prince Harry. Now, Harry was not even in the country at the time. I remember telling Harry about this. Actually, I told him at Lesotho at the dinner because it was a buffet dinner. We were in line. He was right in front of me. It's about a memory. And obviously Harry wasn't going to be there, but the villain had invited the girls from college, aka high school. They were, seniors there, whatever it is of the age. But you got to remember, I was 23 at the time and his mates were in their 20s and they're inviting girls from high school. Isn't that kind of wrong? And the polo player brought the Argentinians there. It was supposed to be a small soiree of people from the inner circle, and I will never say the names out of respect. But they all were mainly Harry and William's friends. William obviously wasn't there. And I remember all the Argentinians were flirting with the girls, and the girls were feeling uncomfortable. I protected them because I felt uncomfortable too. Like, why are we sex objects? It's so frustrating. And I'll say it's a lot with dating. I was actually talking to a guy I've been seeing. I said, I am more than just a sex object. I demand to get some respect from you. But the only time I see you is with a hookup situation. And women out there, you know how it is when you are dating in this stupid dating world. That's how dating has become. It's like you're not bothered to take a woman out. Like, where's the respect anymore? I'm sorry. That's another rant for another time. But I mean, I'm serious. It's so frustrating. And a lot of these guys, some are playing games, the majority are not. They don't realize how they're treating women. And we're sitting there like, okay, I get I'm a single mother and I get you're a single dad, but it's no excuse. You could take me out once in a while. My goodness gracious. But going back to what I was saying, the villain the following morning, because we all stayed the night, and I stayed in his estate. His parents were gone, obviously. And, I want to point out, at that house party, since it's been forever, it's 2004, the villain brought out a tray that had drugs in it. White substance. I've never seen drugs my entire life. I was raised Old Baptist. I was raised in a wonderful community in Michigan, and I'd never been around drugs before. So that was interesting, to say the least. And it was totally wrong because, again, drugs are bad. The following morning, the villain was angry because I protected the women from getting laid and also because I turned him down. He thought I fancied him. He thought I fancied the polo player. Well, I found the polo player had a girlfriend, or I should say a shag buddy that entire summer. And, of course, this polo player was with a new woman every single time I saw him at polo parties. And I'm not that type of woman. I don't sleep around like that. I was raised to be a lady, not a tramp. I'm sorry. And the polo player wasn't used to that. None of them were. So the villain was upset that I turned him down. And that following morning called me a bitch constantly. All because I said no to sex. And I want to point out, the three people I talk about, the names I'll never say, in the group, they freeze out the women who turn them down for sex. And then they tell William and Harry bad things about the women. That's why I said Harry tends to listen to the gossip than finding out the truth. And that's a really bad habit of him. I've never met Meghan Markle. I've heard of her over the years, long before Harry had dated her, because I was part of a circle. But I can tell you that Meghan is strong-minded. And I could tell you that she's probably had similar experiences with some of his friends. And she, in a way, is good for him in certain things. But again, I don't know her. I would love to meet her someday. I think we would get along because you have the media version of Meghan Markle and who she really is. And I think her taking the Hollywood part of it away and the royalty away and becoming herself, I think she's forgotten about how to be herself. because you're making money off of Netflix. I'm an author. I make money off my writing, but I've never changed except when I get into character. But that's what you do. When you're an actor or an author, you're a character. So how Megan is behind cameras without the cameras around, that's who she truly is. And we don't see that because she puts on the act. Allegedly. But I could tell you that Megan probably had told Harry, hey, this is not right about what your friends are saying. Look how they're treating me. And I could tell you for a fact, things that she had said, I could tell you from my own experiences, she's accurate about how some of Harry and William's friends had treated me. The problem is, Harry listened, William never did. And I knew William quite well. I knew William and Kate. I could tell you a person in the group who I saw actually at Val de Vie. It was like a ghost. He still remembers me. After the polo ball, 18 June 2004, he drove myself and another girl back to the hotel. And then I paid for the hotel in Sentebale. And the following day, we went back to his flat to change and get ready for the charity match, 19 June at Beaufort. And as I came out of the bathroom, he was standing naked. And he said to me, I kid you not, I drove you. You owe me oral sex. I'm like, oh, excuse me? No. No, I don't. That's disgusting. But don't be a bitch. I don't do things for free, you know. Honestly, that entire summer, I saw more penises I never needed to see my entire life. That's all I could say. These men were exposing themselves to us women. It was really gross. Like they're proud of themselves. And if you don't give in to them, you're a prick tease. It's a sad thing. And William and Harry had no idea this was going on. It's today you call it harassment. And yes, I could tell you all those stories. And I was traumatized for a long time. And I turned all those memories into a up and coming book that's coming out eventually. I'm still working on editing the first half, working on some filler chapters because you got to have the filler stuff. But it's from the summer 2004, inspired by the Inner Circle, loosely. Some of them know about it. That's all I will say in that matter. And I'm excited because it's therapy for me. So, and Harry probably will see the book at some point. I don't know if I'm going to personally send the manuscript or people from the mutual people we both know. More likely will tell him. That's why I'm working very hard on this book because I want to make it something like, hey, a trigger memory. Oh, I didn't realize that Rachel went through that. I'm so sorry, or other women for that. You see, the Inner Circle, especially 3 of them, got away with a lot. Okay, I know. Rant over. But yeah, Salty Vixen did come from 18 June 2004. The guy sexually assaulted me. I was a vixen in a salty situation. I turned negative into positive. So that person who has Amy gets credit for my name, sort of. Because I said no to him and he couldn't take no. Okay. So now, I got long-winded and still haven't explained how all this ties in to how I got involved with Sentebale. So this is how I got involved. It is now about 2013. I had 2 kids. My marriage was falling apart. It was abusive, yes, unfortunately. And I was alone in the marriage. I know it's a cliche because Diana said it, but anyone who's been through abuse knows it becomes alone. I had my own business. It was okay because at that time Google was good for it. It was a couponing business, believe it or not. I actually made a crazy coupon lady kind of website. There was thousands of sites out there. Mine was also doing very well until Google changed the algorithm. And I got my trust fund on top of that. So my finances were great. And like I said earlier, I thought, well, like I said to Ed Lane Fox, when the divorce happened, I was hoping to help out more because Sentebale saved me from a very bad depression from the abuse from my ex-husband. And I said, yeah, I want to be part of this. Now, how did you know about Sentebale? They're going to ask that because people do make up stories all the time, and people lie about donating. And I said, well, I knew Harry in 2004. He had defended me from a situation. There was a photograph of me that was in a couple of tabloids. I sent the picture of it. I sent the wristbands I saved over the years. It's in my yellow journal. I talk about the yellow journal all the time, but yes, I have a yellow journal. And I showed them, and then I started giving payments. So I went to the 10-year anniversary party. And I forget what hotel it was in, but I'm on Getty Images. My name is on there. And Joss Stone's dancing to me, what they did not record on Getty, which I wish they would have. Joss Stone gets down, and I was sitting down. She walked, seductively, I guess you could say, like an actress, singer, seductive, acting, gets off stage, puts her hand in my hand, grabs my hand, and lifts me, gets me to stand up and dances with her. And I'm like, this is awkward. I've never danced with a woman before. This is weird because I'm straight. But it was cool. And there's some videos, I think, from that 10-year anniversary party. I think some PR thing that you could see me dancing. So that was a cool thing. It was a very wonderful moment. I was in the VIP room, which is another room before the banquet. And I stood next to two dudes. And one was a banker. I forget the other guy. And Philip Green came in. He's no longer part of this, part of Sentebale, with Harry on the side. Harry was not talking to anybody unless Philip Green said it's okay for him to talk to. Because the issue, and I think the chairwoman, again, was understanding that Harry does need to take more of a part in these events. He doesn't. You see the videos. You see the pictures. He does what the PR tells him. And it's frustrating. And Philip only had Harry talk to the men unless the woman was a celebrity. And that pissed me off. And it would piss you off if you're paying money to donate to a charity that you love. Harry's a co-founder. I mean, I talked to Prince Seso and his wife, Maborang. In fact, I got Maborang's email. We had talked for years. We're friends for years. In fact, when we went to Lesotho, I got invited for dinner. The office for Sentebale was like dumbstruck. And they were Googling me too. It was hilarious. Trying to figure out who I was. Like, how do you know Maborang? How do you know such and such? What's your story with Harry? Did she date him? No, I never did. Yes, Harry kissed me in Val de Vie. That was probably the only kiss I ever had from him. I kissed the inner circle. 5 of them. Pool parties, a lot happened. Like I said, I've kissed, but I never did more than that. The best kisser was James. I'll say that. Polo player comes a second. But, yeah, I kissed several of the Williams friends, actually. Good memories when I think about it now. Dang. I've never been kissed like that before. No, that's a lie, because the guy I'm dating comes to close, he's very close to James. Yes, I'm referring to James, Williams' bestie. I'm not going to say his last name on here. And, they were wondering how in the world. And then I remember at the dinner before Harry came to the buffet, I'm standing outside the balcony, and the office said, "Oh, so you had," one of them said, "Oh, so you had dinner with Maborang and Seso. So how do you know? Like, who are you?" And then Phil Green says, "Hey, do you want to come to my house outside of Val de Vie? We're going to have some sort of soiree. Harry won't be there, but Nacho will be there and some others." I'm like, okay. So I went. Because they were trying to figure who I was. Here I'm a woman. I'm 45 now, so I was in my 30s. Flew by myself. Not married. Well, I was married, but I didn't have someone next to me. Had a trust fund. They saw my bank records. I've never really talked to the media. Even today when a few days ago, media contacted me to share my story about Harry to bring some more drama. I said that what Harry was in Lesotho, the argument we had, that was more or less like he was being grumpy and he took something out, and he did apologize eventually. It was my story to share. I'm not going to talk about Harry in a negative way because he's human. He can be an ass and he can be nice, just like all of us. So yeah, the media wants drama. It's a non-story because I won't talk bad about Harry. And last time I talked to him was 18 June 2016 at Beaufort. And there's a picture of me at Getty. I'm behind the rope, and I was glaring kind of at him. I was frustrated with Harry. I had talked to a mutual person that Harry, I'll tell you what the mutual person said, a polo player. He said, Harry doesn't realize who supports who. He doesn't know half the patrons or the donors to the charities. He just shows up. He said, why do you care about Sentebale so much? I shit you not. The polo player said that to me, but it woke me up too. Because a charity I love, and the charity didn't care that I put my heart and soul into even promoting it. In fact, I remember I was in the VIP room for that charity event at Beaufort, and I said, "Oh, do y'all know about Sentebale?" Not one person in that room knew about Sentebale. I'm promoting that charity, and I remember emailing them saying, "Let you know, I promote the charity. Hopefully, get some more donors." I do things out of good in my heart, something I 100% believe in. And but that picture that's in Getty Images, I had blonde hair, red dress. That's because I saw the person who had essayed me there, and I wish I would have confronted him, but What am I going to say? He was drunk at that time in 2004. So I let that hinder my relationships years later because it affected me because I didn't understand what happened. Happens to a lot of people who have been SA'd or more. So, anyway, I think the chairwoman needs to step down. I don't think he's a bully. I think the media needs to report accurately about Prince Harry's personality instead of all these. I love these experts that supposedly know Harry. None of them do. And no one's really defending him. I think one person so far has defended him. Someone from Eton I read. I never met the guy. Don't know him. But I'm defending him from what I know from my experience. Will the media pick it up? No. That's okay. Because I don't want to be famous. I don't claim for all that famous. You see, I said earlier, I knew Mob Ring. I knew Say So. I knew Harry. It's because I just showed up to things. That's it. I never act like a fan because I'm not a fan. You treat me with respect, I treat you with respect. That's it. Kindness matters, love matters. So in a nutshell, I highly encourage you to support Sentebale, donate to them. I'm not doing this as a paid ad or anything. Like, they don't even know I'm saying this. I emailed Sentebale's office this morning stating that I will promote them much as I can because I do believe in the charity. Even though I can't financially afford it at the moment. But I even told them, once I'm in a financially better place, and I keep growing my business as an author, I'm going to get back to donating because I believe in Sentebale. So I hope the chairwoman steps down. I hope Harry and Cecil and the other people who pulled from them will go back to the charity because this is Harry's baby. You see, I don't know if I said earlier in my podcast, I said in videos. And 25 July 2004, Harry was talking about this idea for a charity. And I was sitting next to, it was like him and a woman with brown hair and a Louis Vuitton bag. I'll never forget. I have a photographic memory. And I was sitting there in between them. And Harry was smoking some cigarettes. I think they all were. I don't smoke. I think I had 3 puffs the entire summer. Never lit up a cigarette, thankfully. I don't like smoking. It's gross. And he wasn't really drinking. He was in deep thought. I'll never forget that. His friends, the villain and others, kept giving him drinks. Harry was like, no, stop. No, I don't want that. I'm talking about this idea. He was getting frustrated. So, yes. Harry, when you're in that mind, that thought, he wants to talk, but no, that's the other thing with him. He knows a lot of people don't listen to him. He has a reputation. And because of who he is, people are not going to listen to his ideas. They only listen to him because he's royalty, right? You show up, you're Harry, photographed. And Harry is a smart man. That's the thing. He has so many ideas. And he was the only guy that summer, apart from William and Mr. T, one of William's friends, treated me like a woman with respect. I want to point that out. I will always have deepest respect for Harry. Yes, like I said earlier, I told my story when I was angry at him. I had a right to be. But I'm a Sagittarius and I don't allow someone to, run me over. I don't let it go either. Perseverate. I mean, heck, I got in an argument with my boyfriend the other day. He said something butthead mode. And all day I kept texting him logic. Like, how wrong? In fact, today I was messaging him. I'm annoyed with him. And he's ignoring me as usual. Because he knows I'm on my rants. Well, it's not on my rants. It's how I've been feeling. You're disregarding it. Harry tends to disregard. So, all right, my lovelies. I got to say what I said. And I got to record a Bedtime Stories with Salty Vixen. Those interested of my episodes are on my website, saltyvixenstories.com. Yes, I put a lot of erotica in there, stories of different things. What is so popular? Unfortunately, there are some categories that's super popular I don't like putting in, but I am a full-time single mother, so I have to. My main focus is BDSM and romance. And if you happen to listen to Bedtime Stories with Salty Vixen on saltyvixenstories.com, just know the introduction is, Dear Sir, dear my doctor, my alpha male, my dom sir, dear first dom. And I put something like raunchy in the beginning. I have a story within a story, and then I'll say like, oh, sir, tell me, am I in your mind? Or sometimes it's a little bit more kinky. And I just do that because it's Bedtime Stories was therapy from what Blast from the Past did. He had lied. And like I said, it's another podcast that explains the whole thing. And it just started as therapy because I found out he was listening to my podcast. And I questioned, tell me, was all this BS? Did you really want me? Or was just a So the selfie, it just kind of went into that mode, and then it blew up to a point I have almost 1 million listeners. So I'm very proud of that. But do I make money off my bedtime stories? No, absolutely not. So if you happen to want to listen, and all my photos are the AI photos I use, they are of me. I uploaded my photo, and I just asked the program I use to make pictures with my face. That's my branding. All right, my lovies, I'm going to end this podcast. Hope you have a lovely day. Bye.
Come and share with me. So let's chat about the highs, let's chat about the lows. In this cozy little corner, anything goes. Every sip tells a story, every word brings a smile. With every conversation, we'll go that extra mile.